Welcome to Sober Barkeep. I'm Brian Anderson, coming to you from Anderson's Guitar Bar here in lovely League City, Texas. Take a look today at Blind Tiger again. They're Ward 8. Ward 8 is a drink that was created in Chicago back in the late 1800, early 1900 time frame, turn of the century. Pre-prohibition, but right around the same time that all of that was going on with no drinking. The crime syndicates were starting to rise in Chicago. There was a lot of the political leaders that had a ton of clout and pulled a lot of stuff off. Celebrate a win of one of their ward councilmen. They created this drink, and it's been around for a long time. It's interesting, that time frame, the early 1900s, when there was a big push to just pass morality laws to make people stop drinking, which obviously didn't work. And then during Prohibition, some of the greatest, longest standing cocktails recipes on the planet were created, and they're still around today. The time when you were prohibited from drinking is when the creativity came alive. It's really weird. The Ward 8 has been around, and there's various different recipes on it because where it was created, I don't know if they never really wrote it down. It was a time when you didn't have social media, didn't have electronics, and things just kind of were fluid. It's typically, though, a kind of a play on an old-fashioned. I mean, on a whiskey sour. Sorry, not old-fashioned, a whiskey sour. Typically, what you're going to find in a Ward 8 is orange juice, lemon juice, a little simple syrup, and some grenadine, and then typically rye whiskey, which there's not really any rye non-alcoholics out there, so I had to play with this a little bit. Again, it's sold as something pre-mixed. You can just drink it straight out of here. To me, it's a little sweet and missing something, and doesn't have what whiskey brings to a drink. So played with this a little bit, and it does tell you if you want to use this as a mixer. It's basically a 2-to-1 ratio of whiskey to the mix. So let's do this properly, because I just pulled this out of the fridge. It says to shake this up before you use it. Now, you can do this in a shaker. I played around with this a little bit. I kind of like this stirred. Don't know why, but I do. So we're going to do 2 parts of the Ward 8, and I'm doing this in a single old-fashioned glass because that's just how much I'm mixing. You can do this in whatever size you want because it's just 2-to-1 ratio. So just pick your 2-to-1. So we're going to, and what I found, I played around with several of the non-alcoholic whiskeys, since there's not really a rye, but the Kentucky 74, man, I just love the smell when you open the bottle of Kentucky 74 is just outstanding. So I'm doing a 2-to-1 with 1 part of the Kentucky 74 and 2 parts of the Blind Tiger Ward 8. And then we're going to stir this up really good. You end up with kind of a apricot colored drink. Man, it smells. You can smell the whiskey. You can smell a little bit of citrus on there. And I tell you, this combination creates an amazing drink. It's got a real smokiness to it. It tastes like a whiskey cocktail. If you want something that tastes as close to a real whiskey cocktail without alcohol, this is really, really, really good. I'm giving this a 5. This combination is an absolute 5. This is a great mixer because it brings out all the stuff that you would have in your raw ingredients. It says on here, smoky citrus drink with notes of apple, orange, and cherry. And so the apple is not typically in a Ward 8. Cherry, grenadine's more pomegranate, but whatever they've done just mixes incredibly well with this Kentucky 74. It makes a just amazing drink. This is one of my, I almost used all of this one because I had to slow myself down because it's like I gotta have enough left to make this episode. This is fantastic. Fantastic. Love it. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend this. This is a great mixer. If you drink, you can mix it with full octane rye whiskey or any whiskey. If you don't drink, and the non-alcoholic, which is obviously well, I really recommend this Kentucky 74 with this because, man, it just is fantastic. Sober Barkeep. Live well and drink smart.